I think illustration, I was born with it. I was born creative in general. So like,
Did you give them?
Don't go to uni. It was an interesting process.
What do you mean by that?
Hello, my name is Creatively Anzi and I'm the founder of Melanin Gamers, a gaming community that promotes inclusion and diversity in video games industry. And welcome to MG Spotlight Pieces. We created MG Spotlight Pieces to showcase content creators from different walks of life. Today we have illustrator extraordinaire and the creator of MG's logos, Zen.
Hi.
Zen, please introduce yourself to those who don't know you.
I'm Zen. I'm head illustrator at Melanin Gamers. I'm an illustrator, freelance illustrator. I produce content, emotes, and I'm also a gamer as well.
In terms of being an illustrator, of course here at Melanin Gamers we love a good origin story. Why did you become an illustrator? An artist?
I think illustration, I was born with it. I was born creative in general. So like, when I was younger, I used to just like be fascinated with comics. I remember Wolverine was one of my favorite characters growing up, still is. I was also into noir films because of the fact that it helped me with my shading, which they taught later on. And like, I've always loved noir. I feel like I think it's Sin City. I like those type of films because that helps you kind of strengthen your mind. Because sometimes I feel like I get stuck on, should something be shadow? Is it not shadow? But when you watch noir, they literally cut out the middle ground. So when I was younger, I used to love black and white cartoons and films. And then I feel like academics, I wasn't really, I couldn't really express myself as much. And even when you did go into art, it was kind of always doing the same thing. I always didn't thrive, so nobody really saw my creativity up until there was a teacher when I was in year 3 that used to take me out to her class, and then she'll let me just draw whatever I wanted. She used to like catch like little insects, but allow me to draw that. It wasn't just something that was still, because it would do different things, like it would take off. So my mind I'll be drawing it like with its wings closed, then the next minute it's open its wings and my mind has gotten that snapshot of it, and it would just, I'll start rubbing it out and being like, oh, the wings open out like that, and then she kind of saw that it was mechanical stuff. So.
And in terms of utilizing like social media, creating content, of course you did the Melanin Gamers logo, and that is gaming and art, they're very much tied to each other. Would you say that gaming and art are very much tied to each other? I
feel like you can't have one without the other. The games that we play wouldn't be there if it wasn't for eyes on all levels. And I feel like a lot of the time people forget about that because it all starts with an idea. And then inspiration. So it's like, you know, you can see where a certain creator has played another game that's now influenced them to now create this game. And even if you're not an artist, it's still, you still have to approach an artist to bring your character to life, because you can play a game and say, oh, I love the way that this game works, but I'm not creative. The artist still needs to bring that to life.
So in terms of the art that you see in gaming, what do you think could be done differently, or what do you think that they are doing correctly?
I think there is definitely quite a bit of recycling going on. It's good to be inspired, but then there's also a level of, there's too much recycling. It's not the good type of, it's literally like copy and paste. It's not, okay, I'm inspired by this, but I'm now going to, you know, push the boat out further. I feel like it's also down to the publishers putting pressure on the studios, because it's just churn out. Not, let's take 3 years, explore, develop the game, work on the mechanics, develop the characters. It's now like, okay, we want this game out next year. We're giving you 6 months, character designs, then put it out, maybe testing on the shelf. I used to like go to my uncle's house because he was the cool uncle that had all the consoles and everything. So I remember I fell in love with Halo because the storyline and visually how it looked. When I saw, like even now, so they've got iconic guns like the Needler in Halo is one of the most iconic designs. When you see that gun, you just know, and even down to the sounds, how, you know, visually it looked when you were shooting it. It was a game that you could see the time that they put into it, the character designs down to the even on the when we talk about creativity, the story writing on Halo, the original ones was just perfect. It was like you could feel what was going on through the characters, the development of the characters. Like I remember characters like Captain Keyes and then his daughter, and that a lot of characters now I'm not really attached to. I don't remember their backstory. I don't know who they are, or even if I do, it's for that moment in time.
Yeah. In terms of gaming, the gaming side of things, do you think your art is inspired by gaming now more than ever?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the times, especially I'll come off a game and then it's like, oh, I liked the way a character looked. Or sometimes I feel like I'll draw something in what I feel a character should look like. I feel like, oh, they've released this, but maybe if they did this way. And sometimes I'll find myself being like, oh, I wish I was just in the boardroom and I could say, maybe we take this off, or maybe we add that. Like, I feel like Bangalore is such a cool character. She's had some nice skins, but I feel like they haven't tapped into what she really could be.
Do you think that's to do with like representation in terms of, because the thing that we complain about Bangalore quite a lot is her hair, and I think that's across the board in different games that we see. It's the hair, it's the skin tone as well. Do you think that's to do with maybe different gaming companies not understanding how to do black hair?
Yeah, I think so, and I think it's maybe about like the fear factor, because as you said, with Bangalore, they do it right with Lifeline. And obviously she's a woman of colour, but her personality is very bubbly. So I feel like it can be that fear factor with Bangalore where they don't know how to put such a powerful, they don't know how to maybe do their hair that
suits her personality.
And I think that's the problem, and that can be down to them not having that many people on the ground working on that are of a certain ethnicity, you know, to say, I wear my hair like this, or let's try that, because it's backed by, and it's kind of, what would you say, certified by somebody who says, that's me, that's how I would wear my hair, that looks right. I could see a character being like that.
Okay, that's good. I feel like I'm learning so much about art. So what would you say, like, advice that you wish you'd had 10 years ago in terms of an artist? So aspiring artists, what advice would you give them?
Don't go to uni. It's bad. Like, I feel like uni, unless you're going into, like, obviously I've got my degree, I can go into teaching, but it depends on where you go into teaching, because like I remember when I was in uni, and my tutor just, the minute you come to her with something, comic, anime, no, you're getting a fail. You're not even getting, you're getting,
that's awful.
You're not allowed to express yourself. It had to be the same thing in terms of, when they say express yourself, it was
the fruit bowl.
The fruit bowl, back to that, and because a lot of the time it comes from a spark, and then you now have to make it reality. Not just something that you're seeing physically and then just copying that and everything like that. So I would say that also being friendly with social media. Right now they're talking about virtual exhibitions. We're not going to have real exhibitions anymore, and that was sparked because of COVID and not being able to move around now. And also, you know, with Facebook and the meta world, we are basically moving into a Ready Player One world. So everything's now
Oasis.
Literally.
So in terms of gaming, the gaming side of things and content creators, obviously we've done a lot of panels as Melanin Gamers. What advice would you give to up and coming content creators who are trying to get into the gaming industry?
Definitely networking. I feel like the growth of Melanin Gamers has been through, you know, networking, being open, and being yourself as well. There is a thing where you can kind of get caught up in, I need to do this, or I have to be like that. Being yourself and kind of being dedicated, and it's not gonna be easy as well. That's the thing. It's gonna be
a grind.
A slow burner in terms of like me with my art as well. It's the minute I don't do art. I can still do art, but there are new techniques that I learn the more I draw. So the less I draw, we all get busy in life, but I notice I almost revert backwards.
So in terms of joining Melanin Gamers, how was that process for you?
It was an interesting process.
What do you mean by that?
No, I'm joking. Well, obviously, I've been here from the start. It was an idea that we've now seen grow into a reality. I think Melanin Gamers, there was a space, and Melanin Gamers kind of sorted in there and said, yeah, this is where it needs to fit. And to be fair, it was like we started because it was slow, and we were thinking, I feel like society. I feel like we were ready for society. Society wasn't ready for us, and I feel like we then slotted in at the right time. You know, unfortunately, COVID was very bad, but at the same time, it was a time for people to stop and notice things that weren't right in the world, that we suddenly just glide past, and that was a good, you know, as bad as things were, it was a good thing for groups like Melanin Gamers and other, you know, people of color and other groups and other, to say that, you know, we're out there because people were noticing things that they normally wouldn't notice.
So where can people find you in terms of your art?
You can find me on Instagram. I am artful_Dodger, but Zen, still Zen, always be Zen. You can find me on, you're gonna soon find me on Twitter, but I need to be on Twitter more. And maybe TikTok.
Oh, TikTok, excuse me, this is new.
Yeah, maybe.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, guys. And if you like this video, please make sure you give it a like and a comment, and please also subscribe. And we'll see you next week for more MG Spotlight pieces. Bye.
Peace.